that? You're probably gonna need some lies all the time.
Yeah.
Which is like the economy don't want to be president. The economy wants to be governor. They just want that job.
They're constantly lying.
Yeah, and whatever they say, people like me.
Yeah. Nuts, man. But yeah, to me, that's the next. Because both those guys, Speed, Kaizenat, Speed's 20, Kaizenat's 23. It's like that's how the next generation is like consuming media.
How about this? GTA 6 is about to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if a candidate made a deal with GTA 6 where you could have them ride along with you. Like Trump can ride along with you while you rob people, shoot people. You could do it with Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people want to vote for Trump because he's my favorite homie in GTA 6.
Oh, easily. Or like yeah.
Right?
It's...
Or like the candidate is in the game helping you out. You know, like you're playing Half-Life and Kamala Harris is helping you get around the lab.
I think it has to be a little less in your face for it to work.
I don't know, dude.
I think so.
I think no, dude. If you love playing with the Kamala Harris character on Half-Life, if like that's if you have partners,
right?
Like you could have an AI partner, and it literally is Kamala Harris, and she runs around in Half-Life with you shooting at aliens and shit.
Oh, damn.
Right? And then you really get into like you got a good coordinated partnership with Kamala Harris when you play Half-Life.
Yeah, that's actually...
She's super cool in the game. She's really funny. She helps you. She gets you clues into how to get out of places.
Damn. Yeah, that got way darker than I thought. I guess that is possible. You can have them...
Of course it's possible.
Oh, my AI Trump helper.
Yeah.
And he helps me finish the missions. Yeah, or like do a patch online. Or yeah. The way they can reach you is like...
Sure.
Way darker than I thought. I guess that is possible. You can have them...
Of course it's possible.
Oh, my AI Trump helper.
Yeah.
And he helps me finish the missions. He helps me... Yeah, or like do a patch online. Or yeah. The way they can reach you is...
Any of the stuff that worked, because then we'll have to attribute it to Trump's policies. So we're going to go off on our end. And I keep asking people to prove me wrong. Like, tell me something you did in that administration that carried out the apolitical national security mission. Right? I mean, you had the Secretary of Defense in the Biden administration go down, go to a hospital, MIA,
Fish there.
and didn't tell the commander-in-chief and broke the National Command Authority. There is a reason, and I was a guy responsible for that nuclear football for part of my time at the White House, that thing, and there's an unbroken chain of command from the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, and the National Command Authority all the time. Because shit happens. And what if it had happened in that 1 or 2 weeks the guy was in the hospital, and maybe something did, we don't even know, right? But no one, including the President, didn't know the Secretary of Defense was in the hospital. I can't tell you how big of a cataclysmic failure for the national security mission that is. And when I tell people when they're like, it's all right, it's not that big of a deal. What if Hexeth took a week out and said, I'm going to the hospital, I'm not telling anyone? What do you think the media would do to that guy? And Trump, if that were to happen now?
Yeah, it would be catastrophic. Yeah.
There was a fish
this
here.
person went to the hospital
Ooh,
for
it's
what?
a good one.
I keep losing my phone.
Isn't the letter over there?
I got it.
Oh, yeah.
What were they in the hospital
That's
for?
a good fish.
So Secretary Austin was in the hospital for medical issues, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have
Right, but there
treatment.
should be someone else
There's a plan in place.
Right.
The Deputy Secretary of Defense comes
Right in the corner of the mouth.
Every time a senior goes out, there's a
Right.
continuity of government plan in place. So you're out for a
Pretty
weekend,
fish.
no problem.
But they just hid all this?
They hid it.
That's insane.
And we broke it. We discovered it, and we broke it. And it wasn't the only time he did it. It was the second time where the guy would end up doing it another time.
Why would they do that? Just to hide the fact that they're sick?
Well, that I think is up for debate. Like, people are old and they get sick. Like, it's no big deal. You know, everybody needs a treatment. Everybody's got to go to Walter Reed.
But do you think that he thought it would hurt him politically if he looked weak?
I'm not... Yeah, I don't know.
Speculation.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that.
Right.
And the secretary at the time, Secretary Lloyd Austin, was like a 45-year military man. It's not like this was new to him.
Right.
He'd been doing it his whole life, next man up, you know.
So he had made a decision to try to keep it private.
2 pounds,
Intentionally, and he would come out
13
later and say, well, I
ounces.
just wanted to keep it private. And I said, hey man, your
Pound
life, when
fish.
you're the Secretary of Defense, Director of the FBI, Director of the CIA, it ain't about being private. That's gone. You signed up to serve the
This
mission.
little guy.
And when you do that knowingly, you have literally violated the National Command Book.
17 inches long.
Wow. So you were saying there's a bunch of misinformation that was put out,
Fish.
or disinformation. Like, what was that?
Ooh, take care. So my thing is all roads lead to Russia.
Let me get a
right?
picture real
That's
quick.
where it all started. I was coming out of my tour at JSOC as a civilian and DOJ, and I would end up going to Congress to run this thing called Russiagate, which at the time no one knew anything. It was just a whatever. And then it became what it became. And I would be the guy, the lead investigator on the Hill, who said, hey man, look, they lied in the FISA application. Let me give you Russiagate in 96.
Okay.
Could you imagine a time in the United States of America, the 21st century, where a political party would go overseas and acquire fake foreign intelligence from a foreign intelligence officer funded by donations to that political party?
Get swatted?
Yeah. Yeah. These people play, it's the ultimate height of hypocrisy. They have two sets of rules. One against you and one for them. And what I want to do is lay out that entire body of work for the American people with Congress. And I'm doing it with guys like Grassley and Jordan and Kennedy and Rand Paul on COVID-19. And we could talk about the origins. We actually have some pretty cool developments on that front. And let the American people know that my mission has always been to put out the truth, whatever the consequences are. Whoever it's against, like I did when I signed up for Russiagate. Donald Trump was a Russian asset and I proved it. I was telling the world that. That's what matters. And if we can hold people accountable in terms of indictments, then we'll work with our partners at DOJ. But what I'm asking people is don't trust me. I don't care about that. Look at what I have done and what we have done. That's the guy that's now in charge of the FBI. His leadership team is he's got great partners at DOJ. We're the ones working on all this stuff. And look, let's just get to it because I know it's on people's minds. Right? The reason people are pissed off about that is the same thing, right? 20 years ago, whenever 6, 7, 8, Epstein gets his sweetheart plea deal, right? After committing the most horrific crimes on planet Earth, right?
Should have dropped my anchor.
I wasn't in power there. I wasn't in place there. I had, nothing to do with it. But people were rightfully pissed. I mean, this guy was committing the most grotesque acts you can against children. And the media spins up about it. Many in the media protected him. Why? Because of his relationships, who he knew, who his bankers were, who his colleagues were, who was on the island, and stuff like that. It's a pretty powerful human being. And so when you peel back the layer and then you